So we're recording on mine. Hello, everyone. This is Quanisha Green, the founder and CEO of Black Women CEO. And today we are doing RISE Honors, where we're honoring some of the awesome alumni who have been through our Black Women CEO programs and have done awesome in their work. And today we have one of our honorees, Kim Davis. Hey, Kim.
Hey, y'all.
How you doing?
Yeah, I say, hey, y'all. I'm from the South, so yeah. Hey,
awesome,
hey, girl.
Awesome. Hey, girl. Hey. Okay. This is our second interview, so I feel like I'm acting up a little bit. Like, hey, girl. Hey.
That is how we do. We keep it real over here.
Yeah, y'all. We have fun. There's no, what is it, pretenses or whatever they call it. See, we even mess up grammar and words. We're gonna have some fun. So how y'all doing? We're gonna do how y'all doing in the chat today. Let us know how y'all
in the chat. How y'all doing?
Okay, so for those
where y'all at? Where y'all from?
Where you at? All right, y'all. Okay, we're gonna officially start. So hi, my name is Quanisha Green. I'm the founder and CEO of Black Women CEO. So excited this month as we're celebrating Black History Month. We are doing RISE, a RISE virtual summit, to really call you to let you know it's time that the world knows your name, right? So statistics are showing that on average in the United States, Black women entrepreneurs are generating $28,000 a year. And it's actually $27,753, the reports are showing, right? And even the forecasting is showing that we're going on average stay around that, right? So you might be like, oh, that was last year, 5 years ago. Like, no, it's being projected that we're going to stay there, right? And when we look at it, that yes, race and bias and those, macro issues are a factor, but just as impactful are the internal things that we struggle with. Because even as our last RISE Honoree, Dr. Marvette said, like, even with all that business stuff that I told what to do, I still didn't show up, right? So even if racism, if we fix all the macro things, there may be still things, as I know from the research and even doing Black Women CEO now going on our 4th year, that there are internal things that come up. And there's so many influences to that, right? Our history, our culture, your own lived experiences, that starts to play a factor. And so that's why we're doing the RISE Summit. We want you to rise, to give you the resources, the training, the affirmation, right, in the community to help you elevate your value and visibility. And so one reason I'm doing these RISE honorees, one, I want to honor them because I love them. The second reason is, as we've been doing the expert trainings, some of these experts have been in business for 10 years, plus, but I wanted you to see some of what I call our entrepreneurs, our CEOs, right, on the rise themselves, ladies who have been 100 in their first to 3 years, right, of business, who have participated in our programs, who have done the inner work, and through their concerted efforts and dedication have reaped the rewards, right, and revenue. And so many of you are in that phase. You're in your idea phase, your concept phase, right? Or maybe you made some money, so you're in that starter phase, or you may be making consistent money, but you want it to go to the next level. So I feel like, these alumni of our program are so accessible, right? They can kind of really speak to where you are now. So we're going to learn about them, and they all agreed to be vulnerable and transparent, right? To share their challenges, what they went through, and even to share some of their numbers with us so that you can really have some, real tangible examples of what's possible for you, right? When you start to embark on this journey with support, accountability, training that works, and is culturally relevant to you. So that's a little bit about us at Black Women CEO. So let's all say hi to Kim Davis. Hi, Kim. I always forget, like, everybody is not unmuted. So it's like, hi, Kim. They're saying hi in the chat. She said, they're, someone said we're freezing. I thought like the computer, but we,
no, she's in New York. Yeah.
From the mid-Atlantic to the Northeast today as of this recording, we all like in some winter blizzard. So yeah, it's cold. All right. And so Kim Davis, she's going to formally introduce herself. Kim, I just want you to give you an opportunity to say hello again to everyone.
Hey, y'all.
So she's going to, through the questions, tell you more about what she does. But as you all know, our kind of culture here at Black Women CEO is I kind of tell you what these ladies mean to me, right? So Kim Davis and I was actually in the same mastermind. I was in a year-long mastermind, and then like another cohort came in halfway through. And so we got to know each other as mastermind sisters, both working to be in business, right? Really start up and learn these revenue generating principles. I was in a position, I just say the name because you all know Black Women CEO, right? I was the program director of Black Women CEO, and I went on to become the first coach at Black Women CEO that was ever let, other than her, right? Ever let happen. And as I was transitioning into my role, right, she asked me, like, who do you think can now do the program work? Because you're going to be the business coach. Who came to mind first? I was like, Kim Davis. I was like, she's dedicated. I had trained this whole group of ambassadors to support us at events, to help us with sales and really providing a high touch experience. And Kim just excelled at that. And I was like, she ready. And she did really well in her role. Like, you were in that role like a year after, like, I recommended you, and I recommended her to other people, right? But then it came time for me to have a high level of support. You know, I've had VAs, you know, abroad and all these other things, but I was like, I really want support that I can just kind of sit, like, want to get Black women and I can kind of ramble and someone will make sense of it, right? And Kim Davis was like, I got you, right? I think I called you one day almost in tears, like, Kim, I need your help. And I did it again, like, this year. But, you know, so she's like,
I got you.
She got me. So Kim right now is our client relations and operations manager. But even before she was officially in that, she came into the Black Woman CEO camp as a client, right? I think that you and I were actually doing a connection call, and I was sharing like what I was doing and how many people, and you were like, oh, okay, so where's the PayPal button? Like, can you send me the invoice? Because I need that, right?
Yes.
And she'll say more about her journey. But as you can see, when I really say that, my friends and family have been my first clients, right? Like that first cohort of like in the year clients. Is true to life, right? So Kim has been in many facets of my life, one as a mastermind sister, as a client, as a team member here who she really makes the dream work for me. So that's who Kim Davis is to me. And everyone's saying, hi, hey girl. So Kim, let's switch it over to you, right? So what is like, well, we always start with who you be. So tell me about, you know, who you be, and in essence, like, who are you beyond what you do? Because we're going to get into that next.
Okay, so who I am a Christian spiritual strength trainer. And what that is basically a personal trainer for your faith muscles. So a lot of people, you know, they go to personal trainers to increase their muscle strength physically. Well, who does that spiritually? I do. Ooh. So, you know, a lot of people, my tribe is kind of like your tribe, highly successful, highly educated, highly achieving Christian women. And, you know, we are so focused on our God-given purpose. We are focused on doing things unto the Lord, having the Lord go before us and be the center of everything. And so we're very Christ-centered in my tribe. And so I help them really get to that next level, the level of success that God is calling them to, not only in their personal life and their spiritual practices and stuff, also in their professional life. As you can see, you know, I am a Christian spiritual strength trainer, but I'm also the operations and client manager for Black Women CEO. So it's like I have kind of the best of both worlds. I help women gain the world without losing their soul. You know, a lot of us nice Christian Black girls want to be quiet and hide in the church pews. And so some of us are so focused on our spirituality that we forget about the real world success that's available to us, and vice versa. There's some really, you know, go-getters out here in the world and they're doing big things, but then their spiritual life is lacking. And so I kind of marry those two, and like, you can have both. You don't have to choose either or. And I really think it's time for the Christian women to really rise and shine, because it's time for us to really step out of the shadows and into the light. It's really time for those good, quiet Christian girls to stop hiding and stop being quiet. Start speaking up, because the Lord has something to say through you, you know? And so it's really time for us to all rise to the level of success that God is calling us to. And so a lot of the women who do that and want to do that, they don't know where to start, because it's like they want to do everything under the sun, and they're already doing everything under the sun for everybody else, but not for them. And so like finding a way to balance that, to shift their mindset, and to be able to be productive in the world, be successful in the world, but not of the world, and also being successful in their spiritual practice and their spiritual life, being really connected to to God and their God-given purpose.
Yes.
That is the work, and that is the help that I do. On top of, and my professional life being the client relations and operations manager for Black Women CEO. So behind the scenes, my strength is support. I am not shy to say it. And my heart is really helping women really powerfully fulfill their God-given purpose. So really helping them to powerfully fulfill their purpose. That's what I'm behind 100%. And that's what I capitalize on. And it's so funny because through most of my life, a lot of people, I thought I was second best or second rate, because like in my professional life, nobody would give me that managerial position because I was so good at support. And so I was always being passed over. I was always being looked over. And I'm like, I'm not, leadership enough. I'm not, good enough. When it was time for me to step into my role as a Black woman CEO in my own business, I was like, but, I'm used to supporting everybody. Like I support everybody else. So how does this work? And then really that's one thing, Quanisha, that you really helped me to do is to stand into my, become the Black woman CEO and like, yes, your strength is enough. Like that is good. A lot of people, there are leaders everywhere, and all these people, but they need followers, they need support, and you can provide that.
Yes.
And so just like unveiling it. So I already was the Black woman CEO in my own life, but just seeing what that would look like in my business, that really helped me to like, oh, okay, I already am. Let me do this.
Yes, so I can answer like 5 questions, y'all. So like all that. So I'm just sitting here like, okay, that was 1, 2, 3. I was gonna ask you. That's good. She's like, I already know all the questions. Right. See, you see how she does? See how she does? I wanted to pull out a couple of things.
We are highly educated.
Like, some of the ladies are saying, yeah, I play to the background, right? Some of the research shows, and even though it was a small cohort, this particular study, it was like over 51% of the respondents. I think it was a study of like, it was like 200 people. It was done by like one of the American Express or something like that. They showed that Black women, though highly credentialed and highly qualified, were being overlooked for promotion. And when I started to share that, there was so many that resonated with that, right? That you want the powerful positions. And even when I became a co-executive director, I had women coming to me saying, how you did that, right? Because I'm being overlooked. And so, you share that experience and that entrepreneurship, while we're seeing this, the fastest growing group, right? Even though like one of the things I just said, we're not the most profitable by race and gender, we're at the bottom of the chart, but we are growing faster than every single other group because we are having this frustration, right? In those traditional jobs, not being seen, not being heard, not being respected, not being recognized. Let me know in the chat if you have one of those, put respected, recognized, like let us know how that called out for you. Right. And I was even dealing with microaggressions from the other person I was leading with. Right. And so when I say we're making a mass exodus, all of us aren't necessarily leaving the job and then going, but, we're starting up these businesses with the intention that we want to leave corporate or whatever higher ed, like, whatever field that you work in. And so Kim was just sharing that, right? That look, she was being overlooked, and that made her question her expertise, right? Her value, and then internalize it a little bit, and that impacted your self-worth. And so, and then you mentioned that's coming into the programs, you start to really see who you are. And I actually want you to talk about more who you be, because I think you did a lot of what you do. So tell us about, who can beyond the work. Like, I know you're a mom and some other stuff. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So I am a mom of 2 daughters, and married over 20 years to my active duty military husband. Love him. And so I'm very, I've been everywhere kind of, but I'm from the South. So, when people say, where are you from? And I'm like, I kind of have to stop and pause because I've been kind of everywhere. My family was in the military, my husband's in the military, we moved, but all my values and traditions is South. I'm from the South, from Georgia. So I say, hey, y'all. And really what is really my values is, like I said, helping women to stand in their power, in their purpose, in their God-given purpose, helping them find an identity. That's a big part of who I am, because I love to support other women, period. I just like to help. And that's a big part of who I am. So my value is in, helping others and really supporting them to the best of my ability if I can. And then success. Success is real big for me. I like to be successful. That's what we are. High achieving, like, successful women. And, although, my background is I was in the medical field for over 10 years professionally in medical administration. Keeping doctors out of Medicare jail. I was there when the paper records, your paper health file turned into electronic medical records, and there was a big transition. And I was one of the top trainers for that, teaching doctors, office managers, all the staff, nurses. I was teaching all of them how to do this and how to be in compliance with the insurance. So I'm very detail oriented. I'm very solutions. I'm very action oriented. And so training was my thing, being a teacher. And so bringing that over into my business has really just been very natural, because I've been doing this for over 10 plus years, very successfully in the world. And so I am loving, I am supportive, I am for the one, period. I am for the one God and for the one woman who wants to find and fulfill her God-given purpose.
And hence her business name, Davis for the one. So let us know. So I know you had all this experience. You were doing trainings, but also being looked over, right? It sounds like for some higher level roles. But what made you decide to say, well, I want to start a business, right? Because you could have just kept chugging away at what you do. What made you say you really want to start a business in the first place? Oh, you froze a little bit. I know the connection. Okay, there you go.
All right. So
if you can start over a little bit. What made you want to start your business?
Okay, so funny story. The Lord had been calling me to quit working and start a business. I didn't want to, because the job that I had was my dream job that He gave me. So I was like, no, Lord, what are you talking about? I got this. I'm doing good and everything. And here it came again. He started closing doors. And he was like, no, for real, I want you to start a business and start sharing the message that I gave you, helping women find and fulfill their God-given purpose. I'm like, who do that? Don't nobody do that. Yeah.
Nobody pays for that.
So sure enough, time came and I had to leave. I had no other choice, because he was closing doors. I was looked over for another promotion. It was just not, I was losing my peace. I can't lose my peace. That's not, because God is not going to put you anywhere that you can't maintain peace, because His grace is enough for you. So if His grace is not there with you, that means He's not there. That means you need to leave. So that was my sign, that it was really Him. I follow Him. And so it's not like a bright idea that I just had one day. It was over a process of time of really getting my life together, getting myself together, and becoming the leader in my own life. And then He was like, okay, let's take it up a notch. I want to take you to the next level. And then I was able to actually leave my job, because He had blessed me with such favor, roll into, our business mentor being my first client. Who does that? Only God does that. And so, to Him be all the glory. So it was really just me following Him and being in connection with Him, my daily prayer life, really getting that focus and that vision to know, okay, where is my next step? Because that is a very precarious position for a lot of women in my online community. They're like, but how you know? How do you know if it's God or not? Because that's what's really important to us, is we want to make sure that we're doing what God wants us to do, not necessarily our bright ideas, because our bright ideas sometimes gets us in trouble. And lands us in, all kinds of things that we don't want. We thought we wanted it, but then in the end, it's not. So how do you know? So I have this whole process that I do with my clients and help them to really get that discernment and to that steady practice. The daily prayer is so important. That's where it all starts. That's how in your spirit, it's time for me to go. It's time for me to stay. It's time for me to be quiet. It's time for me to speak. Like really following the spirit and being in tune with that is so, so, so important. So that is
I love
how
that you're talking about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's how my story of how I became an entrepreneur is following God.
Yeah, and I know we all, one thing I know about the women in our community is that we're spiritual, even if we have different doctrines or whether it's universe, higher power. And of course, Kim's going to speak from a Christian standpoint because that's what she does, right? But one thing I love that you just said is, I call it your like spiritual self, like your spirit man or woman, right? And sometimes hearing that still small voice, right? And like you said, we could be thinking we should go this way and it should go this way. And business is such a faith walk. Like one of the reasons why I'm even focusing on Black women, my dissertation was going to be on like, my master thesis was going to be on like community organizers and leadership. And I was in prayer one day and God said, focus on the Black ladies. And I was like, that's not what I was planning to do. I had already written a proposal. And like literally in 6 months, I changed everything to focus on Black women and understanding what was really going on, because I felt called to do that, even to examine my life. It's called an autoethnography, right? To then look at the research and make these comparisons. So I totally get that when you're just like, God, that's okay. Yeah. Doors will start closing. You're like, well, you really, this is the only way I can go. So once again, I know we're all coming from different spiritual backgrounds, but it is tuning into spirit in some way. Like, and once again, that spirit can be your intuition, right? It could be a higher power, it could be God, whatever framework you come from. But business is such that, or some people call it your gut, right? That first mind. So I'm glad that you brought that up. And so with that, thinking about when you started, like, how did you feel about business and entrepreneurship before working with me? And particularly, how did you feel about like putting yourself out there, requesting compensation? Like you said, who pays for a Christian spiritual strength trainer? So like, where were you before we started working together? Because I just want to give women a context of like kind of where you were.
Well, I was already building my business. I was already in a good place with my business, but in the very beginning, I will say that I really did have a hard time asking and charging because I'm a spiritual, Christian woman. And that's not really, it didn't seem at that time mainstream. Like that's not something that we do. we go volunteer and we don't ask for money. Like, that's what heathens do. Like there was a whole mindset that I had to get over and realize, you know what, TD Jakes is making money. What there are other spiritual, pastors and stuff out here making money. There's nothing, because like you said, money is the lifeblood of your business. If you don't have money, you have an expensive hobby. And, in my niche, it's such a cliche to say, oh, you're a poor Christian life coach, because all Christian life coaches are broke. I'm not. Nope. So I had to learn real quick, like, no, even though I'm not solely focused on money. I'm solely focused on the Lord. But the Lord is abundant in his provision. So if he has called you to something, he is going to provide for you. But at the same time, it is your responsibility to reap that provision. So it's just not going to fall in your lap. You got to have some kind of strategy and know-how about yourself. And that is one thing that really helped me. But when I came to you, it was actually my crying moment. When I came to you, you were actually in the hair salon. I was like, girl,
you must be still occupied, I'll be there tomorrow.
And what it was I was building my business so fast and I was growing and I was so focused on my business. My family was actually suffering. And I didn't know. I was like, what? I don't know what happened. I don't know why everything is falling apart, because I'm supposed to be doing good in business. Like what? And Cornish was like, Kim, okay, did you build your business first? She's like, no, you're supposed to build your life first and then you build your business around it. And I was like, oh, because you get so focused and caught up in all the little moving parts of putting everything together, you forget, like, why are you doing this in the first place? You're doing it so you can have a quality of life. And so I really had to take a time out with Quanisha, and she helped me like really what this actually looks like. Because a lot of people say it. A lot of people say it in our industry, you know, work-life balance and, you know, you have a life you love with your location independent business, but they don't tell you behind the scenes what actually happens, like how this actually works and what this looks like. You know, you're trying to do all this stuff yourself and tire yourself out and put all these hours and hours and hours, late nights, early mornings into your business and not know how to have also a quality of life. And so that is what Quanisha helped me with, is to really bring me back, pull me back, gather me up and be like, okay, let's go back to step one, why you're doing this in the first place. Because really, I had to actually take a pause in my business because for me as a spiritual woman, your family is your first ministry, period. Like, and I'm a component of being transparent. I'm not going to be out here in the world acting like, you know, I got it all together and I don't at home. Like that doesn't work with just me personally. I'm not doing it. So really taking time and working with Quanisha and helping me to number one, not feel guilty, not feel bad about that I'm doing such a horrible job as a parent or as a CEO or whatever, but really allowing me just to be and not have to be on, because as me and Quanisha, we were in the same circles. We were the high performers. We were the best in our class. And as high achieving women, we are always on. And, you know, it's a thing around us that we always have to be on. Well, here with Quanisha, I could just let my hair down and it was cool and it was fine. And I could try again and it was okay. And that really helped me to bounce back from that time when I was all over the place and always all the pieces, to really be able to come back because of the knowing
we got a little, hold on,
she was there.
I would say it got froze a little bit.
Okay. So yeah, that was it in a nutshell. Just, you know, you helped me through your programs really bounce back in a time where it was really difficult. Because like I said, with us as high achieving Black women, we always like to be on. We always like to be on top. We always like to win. And when we don't, you know, that is very hurtful. And so I was able to, in the program, really be able to be myself, let my hair down, and it was okay. And while I was getting myself together, so that I could come back and bounce back. And I was able to do that a lot faster, I found, in the program with you, Quanisha, instead of me doing it on my own, because I have done it on my own in the past, many, many times. You know, we do it all ourselves, of course.
Right.
But in the power of community, the community was really helpful in making that transition faster and easier.
So Kim is touching on a lot of things. I hope you are catching this. And definitely let us know in the chat. I know because she's usually facilitating in the chat. Just let us know what's resonating with you, what's connecting. People are saying this is where I get stuck. The voice in my head says it's not right. Some of the churches teach women to be submissive, so you lose yourself and almost feel wrong to be successful. So people are resonating with your story there. And one thing I wanted to touch on is that I burnt out. Right. And I know I've had different pauses for different reasons, but the first pause was due to me creating a service that put me in a whole bunch of people's business. It was like virtual management and coaching, and I burnt out. And that was, like you said, I have heard that too, the build your business around your life. And no one really told you how to do that. Right. And then I burnt out. Like, luckily it was a pilot. And so I was telling people like, okay, this pilot is not continuing. And I had to go like 30 days to go like really recover. So like when Kim came to me with, I was like, girl, I've been there. I get it. This is how I recover. Yes. And I think also, let me know if you're type A, put type A in the chat or in the Facebook comments. Right. Us type A personalities and like overachievers will keep going. And when it's not working and we feel ourselves breaking down, we do a lot of self-judgment. And you know, a lot of times we also wear a mask as Black women, right? We put on that strong Black woman, and I really do value the community, right? That can be that affirming, but also is like, this is a sacred space. You know, take your mask off, you know, put your hair down, right? And there's not going to be judgment here of you, right? And so I think that is so valuable that you found that with Black Women CEO, but I think we all need to find those spaces where we could just be us. And it's not saying that we're being fake, but it's like, you know, you have to, you know, navigate yourself and your identities in different environments. But, you know, that's, as Black women, that's what the research shows, that a lot of us put even underlying, right? We all have this, many of us, this strong Black women that, you know, it's a defense, right? It's also a protection as to why we do that. So thank you for bringing that up, of like having some place where you can like really hone in and like, and dig deep and say what's going on, and knowing that you could talk about it. No one's gonna be like, well, you just need to get that together. Like,
yes,
out of that, right?
And you know, we do it to each other. You know, other, you know, Black women do it to each other. And so when we have a community like this, where like all the Black women are actually here to help you, not to criticize you, it's a whole different, like, refreshing thing. Because here in the tribe, in this Black woman CEO tribe, I will say that even though life happens, even though, you know, you're burnt out or broke down or you messed up or whatever, it doesn't matter, because the women in this tribe will still hold you to your standard as a powerful Black woman CEO. That's it. There is nothing else. So you can say that you're, you know, I suck at life, I'm doing so bad. And they'll be like, okay, you're a powerful Black woman CEO. Like, they're not going to go in with you on that.
We'll let you vent. And it's like, all right, you had a moment.
Right.
Let's move it. And also tend to yourself. So let's do your journaling, you know, your self-care, but then also let's keep moving, right? And help you heal and move forward. So I know, like, you shared so much about like even how you came into your CEO and that kind of stuff. So I guess the question I want to ask is, you know, can you share some of your specific results? Like, what was like the emotions and mindset that you had to come? And like you said, you mentioned some of those. How did you feel about yourself? And then also, because I've been asking everyone, like, even monetarily, like, what were some of those wins, like either contracts or revenue, like, you know, what you want to share, so that the woman can kind of see like really what's possible when you start to, you know, one, build your business around your life, really own your expertise. Kim is saying, like, this is what I wanted to do. And then she had to have the confidence to say, and overcome her, you can say, indoctrination that we don't make money as Christian professionals, right? Tending to that. So I know she talked a lot about that and how she overcame. So, but what were also some of those specific results, and what were those specific results monetarily as a result of, you know, you overcoming that in your business?
Okay, that's a big, it's like a lot of little questions.
All right, let me break it down. So what specifically, like, let's start with the emotional mindset in general and how you felt about yourself. So like, how did that change after kind of, you mentioned that, like, working with me, like, where are you now with that?
I'm great now. It's like you had to remind me who I was. You reminded me of things that I kind of already knew, but I have forgotten. And just the support that you provide, because I got what I needed, and I got my questions answered, number one. And it was like, okay, so here's another thing. Because of my mindset, because I was so down on myself or whatever, and I was expected to be a high performer. I am a high performer. I didn't want to ask questions. And because I wanted to figure it out myself, because I had to be on top, like I had to be on. I had to have the right answer all the time. And y'all let me know if y'all always want to have the right answer, right? We always want to have the right answer. So if we don't know the answer, I'm not going to ask the question. Like,
I'm hard on myself, you know, they're saying they resonate with you in the chat. Someone said, I feel personally attacked. You stepping on some people's toes, Kim. You stepping on some people's toes. Okay,
but let me tell you.
We're saying we all been there. We resonate. We do it, right? We do it. Okay.
So then Quanisha got me. She was like, look, this is not a place to be quiet. You need to ask your question. and get the support that you paid for. And I was like, oh, I did pay for this. It's just that you have a right to ask. You have a right to ask me any question. Don't think that it's not a stupid question. The stupid question is the one that you don't ask. Mm-hmm. And so that really got me over myself of in the mindset of, you know what, it's okay to ask. I have a right to ask. She's given me permission to ask her whatever I want to ask her in the realm of, you know, like my mindset, my business, my strategy. And that strategy, now that was a game changer for me, because really me coming to the program, it wasn't that I was starting from scratch, because I already had a business. It had moving parts and everything. But the problem for me was I would not move forward because I didn't have the strategy. And if I didn't have the strategy, I wasn't going to, I follow faithfulness. I don't follow foolishness. Okay. So I need to know like how this is going to work before I even do it. And so I had all the moving parts and I knew how to work them, but it wasn't giving me the result that I wanted. And so really coming to the program, I came for high level strategy and I got it. Mm-hmm. And so it wasn't me going through all the little modules and everything. It's just getting what I needed. It was available in the program. I could ask my question. I can find the strategy. I can get, you know, those little tweaks that work just for me from our personal coaching. And then I could go. Like I wasn't required, well, you didn't do your homework for module 6. And it wasn't like that because I needed something different. All of us kind of came in at different, you know, ways. And it was there. It was there and it was available. And so really getting over that mindset of not wanting to ask a question, that's what really held me in and asking. So I was able to ask for what I needed. And I felt okay. I wasn't guilty. I didn't feel wrong for asking. I didn't feel stupid for asking the question here.
And people are saying high level strategy is definitely something I need. And people are resonating. We're going to talk about, I'm actually about mom guilt in a second when we get to like the life business, because people are mentioning that. But I wanted to just touch on this. I think one of the great things, and let me know in the chat if you've been in the masterminds and courses and that kind of stuff, is that often in those group programs, they teach to the middle. And I had this experience, right? Where I was like moving. It was like, well, we teaching to here. And I was like, but I need help. Right? Yes. And so, you know, we're able to, in our programs, I'm really conscious about tailoring to things to you, or like making sure in the laser coaching is like you get what you need. Because I think for those of you who might be in that startup phase, like I said, you maybe gotten some money, and maybe like Kim, you have all these moving parts, right? Or those of you here in growth, you're like, I got the consistent money. It may not be, I want to go higher, but it's not working the way I want to, and my quality of life sucks. So like, I don't see my children, right? Yeah. And so there's still like strategies, right? And approaches that we can take that helps to like smooth some of those stuff out. But some of you might be like, oh, my expenses are off the chain. I'd be like, girl, you can go do this and save some money. Like, yes. People talk about Infusionsoft, right? It's a great program. I'm like, you don't even have a client. What? Not saying Kim. I'm like, why are you paying $300 a month for this system when you can do one for $40 a month and it's just as effective, right? So I just wanted to talk to some folks who are like, you know, you're in business actually, right? Yeah. How like still you may need some, like someone said, high level strategy and support. Someone said, I'm starting over with my coaching. I need a great program, right? So all these things. And someone said, yes, they tailor to me, right? So, you know, that's how you feel seen and heard in our community, because we're like, look, this is what you need. And I'll tell you, you don't need to watch module 1 through 5. You go watch module 6 right now, because that's right. That's what you need. So with all this, Kim, so I feel like Kim has shared abundantly about like where she was, how she came to walk into her expertise. So let's hear some numbers, right? Like how has this resulted for you? Who wants to hear the numbers? Say, show us the money, right? Once again, for those of you who may not have caught our earlier, the reason why I'm asking folks to, you know, and once again, then I'll show you my receipts during tomorrow's like masterclass. When I ask you, you know, whatever they feel comfortable with, but I wanted you to have the tangible results, because I want us to talk more about business. And once again, money is a lifeblood of your business, so that you can actually see this is not just like, oh, I got a course and I planned out my 6-week program. It's like, no, we want you to go sell it. Like, yes. We want you to learn how to sell this stuff. So you don't need to then join our upsell program to learn how to like then make the money in the course that you created. No, we're like, go sell this now. So I want you to hear some of the, financials, or even how they moved, right? Like Dr. Marvette talked about, starting at 97, now at 2000. So Kim, can you, whatever you want to share, but can you give us some of those specific monetary results?
So for me, really, my success is in my clients. It just is. But I was able to get the high level strategy I needed, because I needed to gather more people into my tribe with a Facebook ad. But again, I wasn't going to put nothing out there if I don't know the strategy behind it. So I was able to get the coaching I needed for my Facebook ad. I put it out there and I was able to get 80% return. So I think that's awesome. I was able to grow my tribe, and I actually got some clients from that. And I'm actually going to do it again this weekend because it worked so good. Also, I'm at a point in my business where not only my clients to work with me is 1,500 and up. That's it, to work with me. And so I had 4 spots for clients, and I'm all sold out. And my
hold on.
Clients are starting to
$1,500 a person, right? Times 4, so 15 plus 15 is 30. $3,000, right? Again, so $6,000, y'all. $6,000. Okay.
And so now I'm working on launching my group coaching program, because I want, I want to help more of my tribe, because a lot of the ladies are, they're like, that's, a bit much for me. So they'll be able to come in a group program that way, and it'll free up some of my time. So I'm not, because I give so much, but my clients were able to make $2,000 by me helping them. And my tribe is international. So one of my clients in Nigeria, she is also a coach. She went from making $0 to 20,000. Wow. So like, yeah. So I'm like, that's what I'm excited about. Like, they're able to go out and with their spiritual practice and, change their mindset and be successful, not only in spirit, but also in real life. And so actually she's, it's just amazing. My other client, she is not an entrepreneur, and she's 9 to 5. She got a promotion. So just like, if you put God first, put God in his rightful place in your life, he will put you in your rightful place in the world. And so that is what I'm just so excited about. So yes, the numbers are coming, and there's, hopefully more with the launch of my group program, but it's just awesome.
And of course, Kim has had other clients, right? She's increased her pricing for some of the clients as she gotten more confident. Like she just said, she basically booked herself out, right? And that's $6,000. And so some of you are saying, I want a group program, but the thing is that we help you to test your one-to-one service first. You got to master that. And so that's what Kim's talking about. And now she's booked, she has her system. She's tested it. She's piloted, right? She got booked out. And now she can say, okay, I want to now leverage this and work with a group, right? Leverage my time, touch more people. And often you can reduce the investment level, right? Because now they're sharing the cost, but you can then do more quantity. So that's how it can bring in more revenue. So I want you to see how these different sisters in different ways, right? And Kim was kind of sharing you her different journey. She even has a challenge, right? Like a 5-day challenge, prayer challenge that was free, and then she started charging for it, right? And like she said, let's higher level clients, right? People who then invested a couple of $1,000s or multiple $100s. So I want you to see these different ways that you can do revenue, but starting with understanding your service, testing it out, right? Asking for the sale. And then you can move on to some of these more higher leverage strategies that really require you to have a high level of confidence, clarity, and courage, right? So sometimes if you haven't been successful in your program, it's because what they were teaching you required a high level of confidence, clarity, and courage. Yes. And you hadn't built that, right? And so that's why you can see how the women in our community kind of make that shift to do these high level ask, right? And create these high level programs. So I just wanted to touch on that because some of the ladies like, I want to do training, but that's not where, honestly, that's not where you should start, right? It's not where you should start.
And you know what? And can I just add, if anybody tells you that you could just go do it, you know, go just jump off a cliff and then build your plane on the way down. Like, that's foolishness. That's ridiculous. Build your plane first, and then you can fly it off the cliff. Because really, honestly, that would make sense. Don't follow foolishness.
You can get paid a little bit to build a plane. Because first of all,
because it does. And then once you fly, the only way you can learn how to fly is to fly. The only way you can learn how to ride a bike is to ride a bike. Like, you can read all day, you can build whatever you want, but you're not going to learn how to do it unless you do it. But you want to make sure that you have your plane first. You want to make sure it has gas in it. You know, you want to make sure you have wheels on your bicycle. So you have to take that time to do those one-on-one so that you can start making sure that your bike is in well condition so you can roll it down the street to the group of kids. Like, you need to have it together first before you start jumping out and doing all this stuff. It's so key.
Yeah. And just to kind of also clarify, because I have to say build a plan as you go, but it is aligning with what Kim's saying, right? There is some foundational things you need to have in place, like what your signature offer actually is, right?
Yeah.
But then you can actually start getting clients with that signature offer, right? While you're continuing to learn how to do content or how to sell at a different level, right? So that's kind of like what she's saying. So I just want to put it in context, because some people are like, I heard that before, and I'm no longer going to those people. But so I at least say it in a different context, because you can get paid to create. So that's another thing. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Paid to create your work, right? You can definitely sell it while you're creating it and then deliver it, right? So there was something else I wanted to ask. But yeah, let's just go into this part. It might have been based on what somebody said. Let's go into mom guilt, right? Because I guess of our honorees today, you're one of the ones that's a parent, right? So how have you integrated? I know before you said the business was like totally burning you out. So how have you come to integrate work, life, and business, you know, self-care and family, even setting your own goals and executing them? And then have you dealt with the mom guilt? How have you did it? So basically, how's life? How do you handle your life?
You're asking me like 10 questions, and you're like, okay, Kim, now answer the question.
All right, so integrating work and business, self-care, and family. Yeah. And have you dealt with specifically mom guilt in that?
Oh yeah, that's why I was, you know, coming to you crying, because I totally had the mom guilt because I was putting so much time in my business. And honestly, even my daughter, I have a 7-year-old daughter, and she was like, Mom, you love your business more than you love me, because I would spend so much time in my business and not with her. And so I just really had to step back and take a pause and be like, okay, my motto is you make time for the things that matter. And so does my family matter to me? Am I spending time with them? And so you really have to take a hard look at your life and be like, where am I spending most of my time? And then be in integrity with your time. If you say you're going to work 2 hours on your business and that's it, that needs to be it, because you've promised your family this amount of time. You really have to schedule it in. So you make time for the things that matter. Number one, and then you hold that in integrity. You honor that time, whether it's family time or whether it's business time. And it has to be all family time. When you're with your family, you have to unplug. Don't be in the back of your man, be like, did I send this email? Did I write this blog post? You have to.
Why are you talking about me, Kim? Why are you talking about me?
You have to be present. Like, this is a real talk. And the Black Woman CEO, this is how we wrote real talk. And you really have to take a hard look at that and put yourself, hold yourself accountable and hold yourself into integrity. And I will say that, you know, once you want to make sure that the work that you're doing in your business is monetary, money-making, generating activities, because if it's not, you are wasting your time doing all these creatives. I think I'll have a logo. I think I'll write this. I don't know about that. You're wasting your time, because what you're doing is you're taking away from your family. Because is it worth it? You're not making it worth it. So if you're not making money to help and, you know, give back to your family, say, you know, it's worth mom spending this much time in her business because I get to go to Disney. Yeah. You know,
enforcement. Go ahead, Mom. Go get in your
house. It has to be worth it for the baby. Come on. So you really need to take a hard look at your life and say, okay, is it worth it? Because if you're only doing you know, looking at modules, you know, all day, doing homework all day, and not spending time with your family and have nothing to show for it, your family eventually is going to be like, oh no, this is an expensive hobby. You can't keep, you wait, no. And no, So you want to make sure that you have a return on your investment of you taking this time to build your business, that you're actually turning a profit, so they can see, oh, what she's doing is actually working. That's actually adding value to our lives. So it's okay if she spends 2 to 4 hours. It's okay if she does this online interview right now while the kids are snowed in. And they're okay because they see that mommy is going to be able to take us out shopping on XYZ day with the money that mommy made. Or, you know, my husband, you know, is like, yeah, she's being able to contribute to the, you know, the car payment because,
Pay some
you
bills.
know, it's real, I mean, they feel good about it. So, you know, yeah, money is a necessity. It's not my focus. It is really not. But you have to be able to know how to put your pieces in place and generate income.
Yeah, we often say here, power, right? Profit and purpose. And I changed the order. It's not in the order of importance, right? Because it would be purpose, power, profits, right? So we want you to have all of those. And so I wanted to just pull this out, right? The mom guilt, right, is often where, you know, and whether you're working full time or sometimes in business, it's like you're away from your kids. But if you heard what Kim said, like particularly with business, right? Some of you have your jobs, that's fine. And you may not have guilt around that. You still might miss your kids, but now you're like, okay, when I'm home with the family time, now I'm doing this business stuff. But, you know, sometimes that guilt comes, or it can be mitigated when you know that that time is having a return on it that will enrich your family. Right. So like Kim said, I don't mind being on the call right now. Right. My baby was like, I love my mommy. Right. Because this is mom's work. This is how mom is able to, you know, contribute to build my legacy. Right. And contribute to my kids and make sure they have things. And like you said, sometimes it drills down really for kids. Like, I got extra candy. Mommy is right. Mommy allowed us to take a trip. So you know, sometimes they only, you know, kids are, you know, very simple, but we get the deeper meaning of that. Right. That is enriching, adding value to their work because it is having a return monetarily. So I hope everyone can see that. And someone said, and I felt that too, that right when your daughter said your business is more important to me. So someone's like, ooh, that hurt. Yeah, like you can feel that. But once again, when your kids start to understand this is mommy's work, right? This is what we just how my kid, not funny, my child was like, do mommies work? Because he was so used to seeing me working from home. Because he see daddy goes out. And I was like, I should probably talk about my money more because this kid is like thinking like, do moms work? I'm like, I'm working hard in my part-time hours. Right? And we can be an example for kids in different ways. So let me know if that resonates with all of you. Can you see how that starts to mitigate mommy guilt as it relates to you building your business when you know that those hours are, you know, power packed, right? They're high impact. You're getting a return. When you're at that level, then, you know, you're investing in that time. And I think Kim was very clear about having boundaries. And I tell you, so, you know, at times I do this extremely well. At times I'm like, wait, I gotta check this email. And the kids are like watching TV and not interacting in a certain way. So we're not perfect, right? But I think just having this idea too of like business time is business time, family time is family time, because it's really about quality. It is not always about quantity. So I hope that helps some of you all when you think about because sometimes it's anticipating mommy guilt what happened that we don't even walk in our business, and some of us are experiencing it as we are learning and, you know, starting to navigate. And that's why I'm so adamant about let's make some money so that it's of value to you and your loved ones, right? So whether or not you have a family, the family that you may want to one day have, right? Or just whatever your life is, that you want it to be an enriching experience, not feel like you're quote unquote wasting your time. So you shared your personal mantra just now. Can you say it again? So just like we can hear that motto and saying that you live by.
Yes, you make time for the things that matter.
You make time for the things that matter. And how do you set your goals and kind of execute and stay focused? Like, because I know, you know, you have your ministry work and you have your paid actual spiritual work and you have your family. How do you stay focused?
So it's a process how I stay focused. First of all, I have a vision for the year of the things that I want. And then I break it down each month, like I did a planning session this month, how I'm going to spend my time this month. You know, what do I want to do this month? And then, you know, I look every day, what am I doing tomorrow? So I'm already planning like what's going to happen when. And then when it comes up, it's not a surprise. It's not like, oh, I got to do stuff at the last minute. And so to really stay focused, you know, I really make sure I look at my to-do list. I have a daily to-do list. And it's not only just a to-do list to say, okay, I'm checking this off. I did this for today, but, you know, it's a really, you know, is this the best thing that I could have done today with my time? And it also helps me to reflect back when the mommy guilt comes up to say, oh, you know, I'm a bad parent, whatever. And then I say, hold on, my to-do list was, you know, play toys with Ella at 6 o'clock and I did that. Girl, I ain't gonna be, I don't have to be guilty because I did it. So, because it's on the schedule, make time for the things that matter. And so I live by a schedule. I schedule my week, I schedule my day, I schedule my month, it's scheduled. Now, yes, life happens, and you know, things come up, the car needs to have its tires rotated or what have you, you know, things just come up. But at least I know, like business-wise, what's happening. That's usually not going to change that much. You know, I have an appointment with my clients, and then I need time to do the client's deliverables. That's going to take an X amount of time. And you won't know that time unless you actually start doing it one-on-one. And you have to time yourself. You have to look at the way that you spend your time. So off the bat, you're not just going to be like if you've never done this before, you're not going to be like, oh, it's going to take me 2 hours to service my client. You know, that's a great figure in your head, but when you actually get in the work and get in the conversation with your client, and your client actually takes 2 hours just to offload on you, and then you're like, oh, but I need more time. Yeah, because you didn't know that client actually needed a little bit more from you. And so it's just adjustment. And so you adjust as you go.
Yeah, so I love that. I'm sorry.
And then, you know, and then from there, you'll see how you work best. And then you can start making your blocks of time. I already know, I've been in the game for over 3 years, so I know how this works. So I got blocks of times, I have it systematized and stuff like that. But it's really a to-do list, being focused on what you need to do, money generating activities, you know, family, my health, my personal health. I have time for that. I just make time for when it best suits me now, because I run my own location independent business. I can say, well, I'm going to have a morning routine, or no, I'm not a morning person. I'm going to have an evening routine now. Like, I get to choose. And so just making that choice and deciding, this is what I'm going to do today.
To live on your terms, y'all. To live on your terms. I just want to pull out, you know, Kim is saying she's very intentional, right? And she thinks about these different areas of her life, and then, you know, follows that with the intentions. And then she honors those commitments that she puts on. I want y'all to hear that, right? Because some of you are like, yeah, I'm going to work my business on Saturday morning, and then you don't do it. Right. So really that commitment to honoring the plan, because you're saying self-made the plan, right? And honoring that plan. So if you find yourself, because this happens, the reason why I'm pulling this out, because I've heard you all say, I'm overwhelmed, right? I have fear, I'm procrastinating. And some of this is, once again, taking that 100% responsibility for your life to say, I'm setting these intentions. This is my schedule. I'm going to honor every part of the schedule. Like Kim said, if I'm going to play with my daughter at 6, I'm playing with my daughter at 6. And so one of the things we do is help you with calendar creation. And we put in your family stuff first. And it's like, okay, how are we doing the 5 core areas of business around that? And then it's up to you to honor it. But there's also that part of, it's not perfectionism. It's the model schedule, right? And your goal is to use that as a target. And then you can evaluate, right? You know, maybe that time you set for client, you actually find out it is 4 hours. And then also we need to adjust your pricing. You want to make sure that you don't feel resentful, right? So that's why we also adjust pricing, to make sure that all that you're giving, right, is also being compensated for in your pricing. So I just want to pull some of that out. So thanks, Kim. And people are saying, yeah, I used to be a firm scheduler, but it changes, sun girls. Yeah. And so I think that's where the evaluation comes, that she's saying you can make these adjustments. So Kim, what do you wish someone told you when you first started this journey, right? So, and this will help, you know, some of those women that we have on the phone here, right, who may be feeling frustrated with their business.
Someone who first told, I think, I wish somebody would have told me more about the money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't focus so much on building a pretty website. Focus on having sales conversations. I wish somebody would have told me that in the beginning. I would have been more far along. Because like I said, it's those money generating activities that's really going to make it worth your time. And especially saying to your family, oh, I got to work right now. Sorry, I can't spend time with you. And they're going to say, okay, you're working, and they see the return, and it feels good all around. So I wish somebody would have, and when I was starting, I heard about the money mindset was all over the place. People was saying about, name it and claim it. Name it in Jesus' name, name it. Like everybody, prosperity, all kinds of stuff. But it takes, you really standing in your value, knowing what you're worth, and that it's okay to charge a certain amount, and actually getting the sale, asking for the sale. That I wish somebody would have told me early on. Don't focus on the logo. Don't focus on your colors. Like, don't focus on all these things that are nice and pretty and learning how to do XYZ software and creating a workbook and writing a book. Like, don't focus on that. Focus on actually selling first. Then all that other stuff will be pretty and it can come because you'll have the money for it.
Right. That's why we teach you all how to sell. So just as this is like the last question wrapping up, because we are Black Women CEO and you've been in every facet of Black Women CEO, what is one thing you would say to an attendee who is considering working with us and, being a Black Women CEO in the future? And another way to reframe this is, this could also be, what would you say to your best friend if you were to recommend that she could work with me in the program?
So for those who are thinking about taking the program, I'm about to tell y'all the juicy part, the real deal. So if you are considering on doing this program, if you not about it, don't come. This is not for you. This is not the place where you can come and hide behind a module, because I'm gonna tell you what Quenisha does. Okay, she, in her nice Quenisha voice, if you haven't heard this before, she'll say, "Oh, just checking in. How are you doing? How's business?" And she'll say that, and she really means that. But in my mind, you know how I interpret that? Girl, what you doing? Why you not showing up? What's going on? Don't be back here, hiding when you can get support. What is going on? And so this is not the place to hide. If you want a program where you can hide and not get results, this is not the one for you.
She's like, this is what the check-in really means. What revenue generating activities are you doing recently in this week? Yeah, I love, Kim has said this before. We have a video testimonial. Kim be like, if you ain't about it, this ain't the place for you.
You better be about it.
The context is you have to be ready to take action, right? We do have modules, we have all that stuff, but it's like, you got to do it, go implement it. And then you do have a right to ask for help. I tell people, you paid to be here, get your return on your investment. I want you to make money, right? So I love that Kim kind of pulls that out, and I think Marvette just said that too, like, you got to take responsibility, right? You got to take responsibility. Everything that you need is here, right? And I will remind y'all of that, right? And so that's when sometimes y'all do get the private, hey, haven't seen you in a little while, right? What's going on? And that's our commitment in our group programs and our workshops, right? When people doing private coaching high level, I check in, and that's, the expectation. And even as we bring on more team members, I'm like, we got to check in on our people, right? Because we want you to succeed. So I hope you all can see that. So that'll be the end of the interview. I feel like Kim, you share so much, and I think that's kind of like that, because she shared her strategies. I think she gave you a lot of, things to hone in on. So definitely want to go to the Q&A. So if you have a question for Kim, there is a Q&A box here in the webinar. If you're watching the streaming, I meant to say this at the beginning, you definitely want to click the link above so that you can come into Zoom and have your question answered. We're not looking in the comments like on any other Facebook. We're only answering the questions that are here. So if you have additional questions that you want to ask, get clarification on, once again, this could be about Kim's story, or it could be, hey, I'm struggling with this, any advice? And then, you know, Kim and I are happy to do that. So we'll have a 15-minute Q&A. But first, I want to say who is the winner that is getting a 20-minute power session with me. So I did some numbers and I just picked one. So Marsha Joseph, you are actually the winner of the 20-minute laser coaching power session with me. So congratulations, Marsha. We will touch base with you with how to schedule that. So everyone, let's applaud her in the chat. Yay! Because you all are here live and we wanted to reward you for that. And someone had their hand raised. I don't know if that's by accident or not. So we can also answer your question live. So you can raise your hand or you could drop it in the Q&A box. So go ahead and do that because we want to definitely honor your time and honor Kim's time. So we will kind of like start the clock right now at 15 minutes. Okay. So I have a hand raised here. Raquel, hopefully you wanted to talk. So Raquel, are you there? You have to unmute.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead, Raquel. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I've been a coach since 2011, and I've had one-on-one clients, and I used to work with Numi, and it's kind of like a web business where you pay a certain amount for their program, and they hook you up with clients, your specific clients, what you're looking for. That went well for a while. But then it kind of tapered off. Mm-hmm. And I had a few family issues, some serious ones where I had to kind of step back from my business for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And now I'm kind of starting over. And I am a little frustrated because it's like I hear a lot of the programs and everybody sounds amazing, but I don't have $1,500. Mm-hmm. So it's like I just want to know if there's like little things that I can do that maybe I could do this myself without having to pay someone. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say, and this is just me speaking, you get what you pay for. And so, yeah, there's a lot of free advice out there. You can Google everything that you want, but sometimes you need, if you want a specific result, you may need specific advice from a professional, one-on-one or something that's tailor-made for you if you're looking for something specific.
And I'm gonna, oh, sorry, go ahead.
So, you know, there are ways that you can just Google it and figure it out on your own, but why, if your time is valuable, if you have that time, great, you know, YouTube everything, but if your time is valuable and you really want fast results, it's really getting with a coach or a program that, you know, you resonate with, that with the results that you're looking for, and going in that direction. If time is not a factor, go for it. You totally can. There's a lot of free resources out there on Quanisha's website, on my website, at kimdavisfortheone.com, or you know, other business websites, if you have the time for that. But if you don't have the time for that, then I would suggest that you really consider getting some expert advice for you in your business. Quanisha, would you like to?
Yeah, I wanted to build that on a little differently, like from a different angle. Raquel, I'm just gonna mute you because there's some background noise, but you're still here. You can talk, and I'll unmute you in a second to see how this resonates. I have invested close to $40,000 in my business education. Luckily, right, because of the focus I have on revenue generating activities, I've had a 300% return on that. But here's the thing. I don't want another Black woman to pay what I did in order to have a profitable business. So one thing that we had for a couple of years is the Black Women CEO Collective. And to come into it, you were paying like $3,000 and above, right? Depending on how much private support you wanted with the group. One thing we're doing is that we've totally shifted our model. It's everything that was in the Black Women CEO Collective, but we shifted it a little bit so that it could be more accessible. So that was always my dream, my plan to have high quality, high impact, culturally relevant business coaching easily accessible to you. And this is not me selling you. I'm more saying this for everybody. And I said I would talk about the IA Network tomorrow on the webinar and give you all more specifics so that you can see if it's a fit for you. But we make it at an accessible price, right? And I'll say what it is, it's going to be like about $100 a month. For me, I know we all have different situations. I think that is extremely feasible for most of us if we shift some priorities. And my goal is to get you making money, so then your business pays for your investment. So Kim is absolutely right. We do have to invest in ourselves, invest in our education. But for me, and sometimes, unfortunately, those programs, you don't know if it's a fit, right? But for me, there's no upsells, right? It's like, this is a comprehensive program. We ask you to commit for a year because we want to help you in all these seasons. So, you don't just like wander, like Kim said, like, this is not the place to hide, right? We want to make sure you're successful. So we have that, right? That's now our premier program. That's the only thing we're going to do. We changed it. We have members in it already, right? So definitely you all will have the opportunity to pursue that if you think about it. But, and yes, but here's the thing. When you do want private, or if your desire is like private, tailored support, private coaching for most people is at a different investment level. Good private coaching is at a different investment level. But once again, there is group coaching where you can get, like, we do laser coaching in our group sessions, right? So that you still can get tailored advice. You can post in the forum, and I will answer your question. The experts that are coming in will give you tailored advice. So there is a way to get tailored support. But what I heard you say, Raquel, is, before you had a service that was bringing in clients and then that stopped to work. It sounds like you need to learn how to sell. You need to learn how to sell and promote yourself in a way that resonates with you so that you can attract your own clients. That's how we stand from a place of power. While it's good to have services, right? If you don't know how to do it yourself, that's when we start to give our power away. And that's why we need to learn those crucial revenue generating business skills so that no matter what happens in life, you have the skill set to go make money when you're ready to come back. So Raquel, I just want to know, how has all this landed for you? What's resonating with you? What are some of your thoughts?
Well, I mean, the $100 a month is definitely in my price range, and you are like the first person that I have talked to, because I've talked to many people that it sounds like something I can invest in, because a lot of people are saying to invest in yourself, invest into your business, but if you don't have it, you just don't have it. You can't pull it out the sky. You can pray about it. The Lord could definitely bless you with it. But the thing is I think I got defeated in my mind and frustrated that I didn't have it. And I do have something to offer a lot of people. And I don't want to keep hitting this money wall. I don't want something that can be replaced or can be damaged or taken away to stop me from giving this gift that God has put in me to give to other people. So that works best for me. $100 a month, $100 a month. That works for me. That works for me.
Raquel, I don't know if you're on the phone or on video, but I'm literally tearing up, right? Because like, truly why I'm changing the program is because I hear y'all, right? Like, we have wage inequality. And I'm a community organizer in my background. I used to knock on doors and have people sign up for $10 a month. And these were poor people, right? And I've heard people say, well, they got a cell phone. They can avoid, like, sometimes, yes, our priorities can shift, but sometimes we don't have it. And, right. And so, like, yes, it's money mindset and all that, like, sometimes we can know when we're like, no, if I really, truly had it, like, if I can move something around, I would do it. And so for me, I don't want that to be an impediment. So that's why these tears are coming up. This is why I'm making that shift. And sometimes it was against the advice of what people told me before, but I found my Harvard trained consultant, Ariel Lurin. I was like, sister, that's what you want to do, we're going to do it. And of course, if someone wants private coaching, we have opportunities for that, but it's not required for you to get help. So thank you for bringing it up. And I will talk to more detail. Y'all will hear it. Like I said, this is not for us to sell you anything. And this is really was to highlight Kim, to honor her, to have you all hear her success strategies. But thank you for Raquel for, I'm saying your name right. It sounds like Raquel, right? For bringing that to the forefront, because it is an issue. It is a challenge. And like, when you say, like, with God, like, I've been praying on this. This was in my heart from the very beginning. I was told, like, well, your business is not a charity. And I'm like, that's my social justice part, right? Like, and so like now I'm in the position to do it and build it out where it's a win-win, like for everybody, right? Like I still will, you know, generate what I need to generate. It will free me up to do different things, but you all will be getting, I know, because it's tested, it's been piloted, a high quality program that allows you to generate revenue. And of course, legally, you can't guarantee, right? Like, or whatever, but that's my commitment. That's my commitment. And the ladies in our community, that's their commitment. So I hope that answers your question in that way. So yes, everybody, we got to make sure that we invest, but my competitive advantage, y'all, is that I'm making high quality, culturally relevant coaching and training available to you. So thank you for bringing that to the forefront. Raquel, do you have any last, I guess, thoughts or questions before we just ask someone else if they need anything?
Oh, no. I just want to get started. I'm ready to begin. I mean, I've made my schedule to where I have time for this. I do massage therapy. I'm a muscle therapist as well. And I love it. Absolutely love it. And my goal is to combine coaching and massage. You know, anyone out there that's doing that. And that's something that I want to implement for my clients, where I'm helping you spirit, soul, and body.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for sharing your dream with us and your vision. So how about I do this? Everyone that wants to know about Aya, I can send you that information. So just type yes, put Aya, A-Y-A. Yeah. Aya is the Adinkra symbol for endurance and resourcefulness. So in the chat, I want you to just put yes, Aya, and we will follow up with you. The official sales page is supposed to be live today. So we will send that to you. So if you want to join Aya before I officially open the doors tomorrow, we'll get you that information. That's my commitment. So you all heard what it is a month. And if you want to pay in full for the year, it's $9.99. And these numbers are odd because that's just how Mighty Net works. So all of you have, well, hopefully have been in our Mighty Networks community. Aya is also on Mighty Networks, right? So you got to test it out, get all your kinks out. And now you can come into our paid community. So we will, I don't want you all to wait. It's if you know you really have been hanging out with us, you want to move forward and you're like, yeah, girl, I need this. Just put yes, Aya, and we'll get you the links. So it's $9.99 a month, and that's because of the processing. So there's no additional fees. It's $9.99 a month, basically $100. And if you want to pay in full, you save 2 months, right? You get 2 months off for basically $1,000 minus 1 cent. It's too many nines for me to say. It's like making me tongue tied. So yeah, that's my commitment. Tap yes, Aya, and we will connect with you and make sure you get that information. So thanks for Cal. Look at you leading the way already. Thanks, sis. All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome. She was like, I opened the doors, open the. It's funny how the Christian spiritual strength trainer opened up the space. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the video, but let me look here. Open up the space to be spirit-led. Like, I'm very spirit-led, right? And I mean, my background's a Christian, but I still try to talk about this in kind of like general terms to respect where everybody's different belief system. But the women who come in our community, y'all spiritual in some way, right? No matter what your religion is or whatever, y'all get being led by something, that inner voice. And so I felt led to say that. And I think, you know, Kim Davis be setting the way. Y'all see what she does? You see what she does? Okay. We still have time for just like probably 1 or 2 more questions. So if you want to raise your hand quickly, because we want to honor Kim's time. She got work to do. So if you want to raise your hand or type into the Q&A, we still have this opportunity. And I'll just to give some folks a minute or two to do that, I just want to read some of the chat. People are saying, thank you for the space for women to be vulnerable and get inspired. You are so welcome. Let me move this over so I can acknowledge you all. So Asha said that. Anaka said, absolutely. Raquel said, I'm so grateful. And so we got Asha saying, yes, Aja. Jessica Jones saying, yes, Aya. Raquel saying, yes, Aya. Nicole Parker saying, yes, Aya. All right, y'all. Asha saying, she was like, I could do that. Oh, that sounds awesome. And people are congratulating Marsha. She's like, this is the first time I won anything.
Oh, congratulations again, Marsha.
That's a $350 value. We're gonna talk about money. I love Denise Duffel, lucky bitch, right? And I know I'm cursing on Facebook, but that's the name of her brand. It's the name of her brand. Now she just goes by her name. But one thing she talks about, there's an app. I'm gonna have all you download it, and you can probably put in Lucky BITCH in your phone app, and she has you count in all the ways money is coming to you. So that $350 coaching, that is $350 you are receiving, even if it's not something you had to pay out. So that's how you live abundantly. You show gratitude for that $10, I don't know, God, somebody bought. Yeah. Someone gave you access to something, right? Say they said, oh, you get free coaching, and this was $1,000, that's $1,000 coming your way. So we're gonna talk about that for all those yes eyes, right? Because we want you to learn how to acknowledge money in all the ways. And people say, I receive that. But it's a yes at money, right? And when you shift to that space, I promise you, when I started doing that work, that in hypnotherapy, because we'll talk about the deep healing, in 90 days, I generated $30,000 in sales. And that's not even, that's like, you know, sales, actual revenue. That's not even counting all those, like I said, like my mentor gave me like free coaching, and I was getting like extras, like all this stuff was just like coming my way, and it still does. It still does, because I just practice gratitude, every little dollar that comes in. So anyway, we'll talk about that. I just, you know, see Kim once again, getting us in the spirit, talk, receiving, all this other stuff. Someone said, just went to church. This is amazing. Yes. There's no questions or raised hands. So Kim, I'll just like kind of leave it over to you. Is there anything that's kind of like on your heart to close with or to say to the women today? You shared so much. So just, I guess just wrapping it up, is there anything still in your heart? You're like, I got to say this one thing before we go.
No, I think I've said it all. Just that, know that, you know, we at Black Woman CEO, we love you. And when we say that, we really mean it, because this is a really special community. It's not just special for Quanisha, but it's also special for me and the other ladies who are in it, because it's really nothing like this. There are very, very few places where high achieving women can get together and let their hair down and not be judged. You know, a lot of us, you know, Black women just get that. I got it a whole lot when I was growing up. As being in the military, my family would move to predominantly Black places, and because my hair was long, oh, you think you pretty, you think you cute, I don't like you. And then I would go be moved to the white areas, and then I wasn't white enough for the white girls because my skin was dark. So it was just like, come on. And so just finding this place, like, oh, I can fit here. Like, oh, they get me. And they're not going to judge me. They're not going to say, oh, you think you're cute because your hair is too long. Like, they're telling me that my hair is beautiful and, you know, it's okay. And it's just nice. It's very refreshing. And then you're able to actually launch and be more successful because you have this tribe behind you that says you are a powerful Black woman CEO. I don't care what the world tells you. I don't care what you tell you. You are. And so, you know, I just encourage you to join us, you know, and really powerfully pursuing your purpose as an entrepreneur, if that need be, and actually what literally that takes in the world, real world, because that's really what I'm all about at KimDavisForTheOne.com. I am about, you know, you have to be virtual and spiritual, but you also have to have that practical worldly knowledge in order to be successful in the world. And I just thank you, Quanisha, for being able to teach us how to be Black women CEOs, powerful Black women CEOs, with all the tools that we need so that we can generate income, generate revenue, so that we can give back to our communities. You know, it's not just all for us. It's not just so that we can say, oh yeah, I got money. Like, it's really so that we can be able to give, because you can't give what you don't have. You can't give from a place of lack. So you need to know how to, you know, become abundance mindseted, how to generate revenue for real, you know, and how it actually all works so that you can be able to give those bigger donations to your favorite charity or organization or church even, or even to your family. You know, a lot of times, you know, a lot of people want to take family vacations and they can't.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, see, this gives you a motivation to generate more revenue so that you can, you know, do those fun things with your family that you want to. So it's not all about the money. Yes, we talk about money a lot here, but
give me free. We want you to have that. Like, I want, Kim want. So when I say we, is right now Kim and I, the team, our advisors, right? Like, we want you to have, like, get free. Like, it's the Amistad moment, y'all.
Yes, seriously.
I was gonna say, y'all, you know, because y'all saying yes, I am, like, I'm hardcore for the love of Black women, the love of Black people, the love of our community, and I've always been that way. And like this economic self-sufficiency is so important. And I hear all the time, you want to own your time. You want to work from home for now and or later when you got your children, right? You want to leave a legacy. And I say live your legacy, right? And we really want to get you on path for that. So that's why you see me turn up. I'm like, since I turned 35, like 34 going to 35, I'm so emotional. And I was like, I had to buy some like waterproof mascara because I was like, I'm tearing up so much. And like, y'all, I'm really grateful. And I'll just kind of wrap up with this. And it builds on Kim's story though. I'm grateful that I get to show up as I am, right? And I get paid well for it. And for me, it's fulfilling. And I also, like when Kim said, it's her client results. That's what feeds you. When you all, and that's why I had sent them a message, right? I was like, please be willing to talk about your money, right? One, because you need to get used to saying it, and I want women to actually see. Yes, saying like, I got a breakthrough. That's great, right? But I want you to see how that breakthrough translates to revenue generating. Like, didn't I send that email, Kim?
Yes.
Personal message for Queens for Tomorrow, right? And I had to I put it in a context for y'all, give you some examples, right? Because like Kim was the one that said Quenisha breaks it all the way down when you said that. So yes, that's my commitment. That's my commitment, and it's my purpose. And I think someone said they told me that when I first came, but yesterday someone wrote in, "Thank you for existing." Thank you for existing. And that hit me hard. Kim knows this, but 7 years ago, I was on the floor of my studio apartment ready to take my own life. The accumulation of having 2 second trimester miscarriages, the trauma growing up with my mother who neglected, she had a drug problem, all this other stuff, getting divorced, getting married and then divorced, right? Dealing with a mental health condition. I technically on the books have bipolar disorder and PTSD, right, out of this, but still went to Ivy League college, all this other stuff. But I would literally go to class, come home and cry, like cry myself to sleep. And I've been crying myself to, I don't do it anymore, but from that point, like since I was a child, since I was 8 years old. And so it was just done. But I had just had a baby. I had a 3-month-old. He was with his dad that day. So I think all this was like, and probably postpartum depression, right? A whole bunch of stuff. But 7 years ago, I was on the floor. And so when that person said yesterday, that private message, thank you for existing, I thought about how vital this work is life-giving to me, and me choosing to live and choosing to thrive to do this work, right, is why I'm here and why I continue to exist. My suicide ideation has resolved itself, right? That's what drives me. So when Kim was saying that vision propels, that's one of our models here too. So people saying, hug Quenisha, I've been there. And that's why I'm so transparent, because we often serve to our detriment. That is what the research shows. And that's why, I know I'm getting into preacher mode. If you got to go, y'all can go, but I got to say this. Right? So
go ahead. Preach.
Right? The research shows, that's my master's coming in, right? That we often die from preventable diseases. And we've had our MDs in this program say, that is absolutely true. And it's stress related. So when you think about obesity, high blood pressure, cancer, right? So we give to our own detriment. And Kim was even sharing that, right? And we have to start using, like, if you're a giver, be a giver for yourself, right? And so that's why we teach you, like, you got to start shifting these priorities. I've had clients, I'm like, you can no longer be on that council. They are not paying you. Go put this time in your business.
Yes.
And then that client 30 days later got a talk with Boeing. How about that, right? So we're teaching you to honor yourself, take care of yourself, so that one, you can effectively do the work that you know you're meant to do in the world. Stand in your expertise, grow in that leadership, right? As a CEO, which primary roles of a CEO, drive your vision, drive your revenue. Drive your vision, drive your revenue. And then where a lot of us Black women get stuck is the whole driving your leadership, building a team to support you, right? Because one of the reasons why we get stuck is because we create a bottleneck. That's why I call Kim crying and she came, right? And I pay her, y'all. I pay her, right? Isn't that volunteering? I pay her. So yeah, I felt led to say that. So that's why when we say we're culturally relevant, we are looking at the research, what it says that we need or what it says that our challenges are. And I have created and tweaked and piloted, right? You know, my master's and all this higher educated, my lived experiences, right? Even building on what I've done for myself to then tailor it for all of you. And when people say we get Black women, we get y'all, we are y'all, right? But we also know you from a research standpoint. and we bring in that cognitive behavioral stuff, all that together. And here's what's happening. Every single person that said, Aya, today, you took fast action. We're going to get you that link. You all will get a 20-minute power session with me.
Wow.
All of you.
Girl, you better put Aya in there right now. If you haven't done it already.
Say yes, Aya, you are going to get that 20-minute power session, because when we even just talk that 20-minute power session, you will even start powerfully into the community, because you have a clear understanding. Like I just told Raquel, you need to learn how to sell, right? Like, we're going to focus on that. You create your own clients. We can hone in on what is that thing that might be holding you back, and even what that skill set you may need right now to focus on. 20 minutes. I'll probably even tell you that in the first 5 minutes, and the rest of it is us like making a plan, right? Like, so yeah, so that's what that's about, right? And that's why when you become your own business leader, you can co-create. Our deepest fear is our quote of Black Woman CEO, and it says, essentially it says, when you start to stand in your greatness, you allow others to do the same. When Kim started to step out, right, and be her Christian strength trainer, and the results her clients get is because she decided to be confident, to stand out with her expertise. And now they can be confident and stand out in their business, right, in their expertise or in their profession, right, and get promoted. That's that was it paying for, that ripple effect of you. And so you are here to transform the world. And I say that seriously. If you're helping parents to better educate their children or deal with their children, those children are going on to transform the world. If you're helping organizations to better relate to their employees so that they're happier and more productive, that's going to go on to change the world, right? Like, it's time the world knows your name. We are serious about that, right?
Girl, if you're not about it,
confident to stand in your expertise and own that you have something of value, that you are here to transform lives, and that you are here to transform the world. And you don't need any more anything to do so. You don't need any more education, longer hair. Like I say, y'all, I'm from the Bronx. Like, you see me do that neck. Like, I'm me, and I want you to be unapologetically you, and people will pay you absolutely well for it. My bookshelves do not match. Right? People still pay me well for, and I say that because someone's like, I work from home. I work from home. This is usually where I'm working. It's usually where I'm on video, right? So we get you those excuses out the way, and it's just a mindset. There's a paradigm you've been living in, and there's a whole nother paradigm that you can take on and thrive, right? You got everything you need to succeed. See, Kim, once again, bringing up the spirit. So yeah, we're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it at that. Because power, that's our motto. Power is the ability to create your reality. And every day, every session, I'm going to tell you to go forth and be powerful. And Kim, she already gave you her last notes, right? So
yes.
We want you to go forth and be powerful. So we're going to get, the chat will tell us, everybody that said yes, Aya, if you're still here, you want to say yes, Aya, go ahead and put it in. Everyone that does it, you get a 20-minute power session. And that's when you register. We'll match it up, right? To make sure you get that. That's me honoring your leadership. So yeah. So y'all get that. And we'll schedule it as soon as possible, right? It's not going to be like, in April. It'll be in the next. We're going to plan it out all in March.
All right.
All right, y'all.
Congratulations, everyone who said yes to Aya.
Yeah. So the chat immediately downloads. So we'll work on that and getting you all the link and stuff like that. Okay. So we will see you in a couple of hours for the next honoree. June's gonna be like, what had happened all this afternoon with y'all? I'm gonna go tell June, like, girl, get ready.
Yeah.
So yes, people saying woo woo, dance. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
See y'all later. I love it. Yes, Aya. Yes, Aya. What tears? What tears? Thank you. Woo. Thank you so much. Oh snap! This is so powerful. Appreciate you sharing your story. Oh, you all are so welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So helpful. So many are preventable. Yes, those diseases. This is so real for women. All of the things you said. Hugs to Q. I've been there. Thank you for this platform and space to share. So wonderful seeing you all doing your thing so successfully. Thank you all. And thank you all for sharing the takeaways in the chat. That's why I want to acknowledge them and read them, because you are practicing that vulnerability right now, right? Vulnerability is strength, that transparency. And once again, to be successful, you don't got to do it the way I do it, right? But that, being who you are and showing who you are is definitely an asset to your business. And Kim Cole just talked about that, right? Captivate with your story.
Yeah.
So yeah, all those expert trainings are gonna be in Aya, right? So you'll still have access.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited, y'all. Like, y'all don't know, I'm excited. Okay, so I'm gonna go so I can go calm down. You all can have a break, go eat, and we'll be seeing you at 8 o'clock. All right.
8 o'clock, y'all.
Talk soon.
All right.
Bye.
Love you much. Bye.